Yesterday, in our wonderful Day in the Lord broadcast, we saw in chapter 27 of Genesis that a very deceitful mess was taking place in Isaac's family as everybody's deceiving everybody. And Jacob is being sent away now. He now has the blessing. He's going to inherit the Abrahamic covenant blessings. But he is also going to get killed by Esau, as far as they know. At least Esau is making that intent known. And so they send Jacob away to the family, Rebekah's family, and up in Haran. And they are going to send him away for his safety, one, and number two, for a wife. They're, once again, the women in Canaan were by and large worshipers of idols and so forth. There's no suitable wife for Jacob. Esau has already married pagan women. He's going to marry another one as well, but Jacob needs to marry someone from the family line. So he goes up. He's sent out by Isaac in verses 3 and 4 with to go and find a wife, be fruitful and multiply, and so forth. And so he sends him away with that blessing. About verse 4, may he also give you the blessing of Abraham to you and to your descendants with you, that you may possess the land of your sojournings, which God gave to Abraham. So Isaac knows that Jacob is the one who's going to receive the covenant blessings of Abraham. So he takes off to get a wife, and that's is primarily what he's after. In verses 8 and 9, Esau sees what's going on, and he finds out, he knows that his family is upset. His mom and dad are upset over him marrying these Hittite women. And so he goes out and he marries an Ishmaelite. So he goes to Ishmael. So Ishmael is kind of a cousin of the family, and he marries another woman. Some people have said this is another act of defiance on the part of Esau, as he is once again marrying outside the line and marrying pagan people that don't follow God. But there's also the possibility he's trying to get a little bit of an appeasement with his parents. After all, Ishmael is related, even though he's not following God. At least he's in the family tree, so to speak. So perhaps he's actually trying to accommodate his parents a little better, do a little better. We don't know, but we do know he marries this other gal. Jacob's on his way now to Haran, and he has this famous dream. Everybody knows about Jacob's dream, verse 12. This is where he sees a ladder was set on the earth with the top reaching to heaven, and behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie I will give to you and to your descendants. Your descendants also will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and the south. And in you all your descendants shall be, all the families of the earth will be blessed. Behold, I am with you, and I will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised. So a couple things we'd notice here. This famous dream, probably the most famous dream in all Scripture, of Jacob's ladder. It's famous because of the old spiritual of Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder, and so forth. Of course, if you listen to the words of that particular song, it really is totally out of context and doesn't fit at all what's going on here. But it does, people know of the song, of this incident because of that song. But the more important thing is, once again, the Abrahamic covenant is articulated, this time to Jacob. Now, this is the 9th time in the book of Genesis now where the Abrahamic covenant has been given. Different pieces of it at different times, but 9 different times it has now been given. It was given 6 times to Abraham. It was given twice to Isaac, and now to Jacob. So the patriarchs are receiving this same promise from God, just different pieces of it as we go through. We find that Jacob is awestruck with what he's seen here. In verse 17, he says, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. And he named the place in verse 19 Bethel, which means the house of God. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily there's a gate to heaven somewhere, but this is Jacob's estimation of the circumstance. He realizes this is a very unique place. And he makes a vow to God, which is kind of a mixed blessing vow as you read it. He says to God in verse 20, if God will be with me and will keep me on this journey that I take, and will give me food to eat and garments to wear, and I return to my father's house in safety, then the Lord will be my God. Now, remember, this is exactly what God just promised. He would do all those things. So he says, if God does those things, then the Lord will be my God. And this stone on which I set up as a pillar will be God's house. I'm not sure if that's definitely needed. And of all that you gave me, I will give a tenth to you. Once again, Jacob wanted to give 10% of what he gets to God. Doesn't impress God, I'm sure. Doesn't impress me very much. He's kind of bargaining with God. Lord, you gave me these promises. You're giving me the same promises you gave Abraham and Isaac. Okay, good. And if you come through, God, if you come through with the goods, then I will let you be my God, and I will give you a tenth of the produce that I gain. So kind of a mixed vow. At least he's in the ballpark. At least he's talking to God. At least he's going somewhere. But I don't think this is your best example of someone who's trying to follow the Lord here. So that's what's going on in chapter 28. Let's pick it up on 29 tomorrow.